Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Mel and today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a one book reading vlog for the Ember Blade. Now, there's a little bit of a catch to this. It's not just going to be me reading the book. If you guys have been following Broken Binding, which is a subscription box that also does special editions, they put out a special edition cover of this and the Shadow Casket a few months ago, and I decided not to buy it. And then everybody was coming in and all the excitement and the hype was happening from these beautiful, beautiful special editions. I mean, look at these sprayed edges and then just look at the naked hardcovers. They are absolutely gorgeous. And I don't think there's a hardcover edition available of the Ember Blade at all other than these editions. Now, let me just tell you that these editions are not cheap, and that's why I didn't originally purchase them, is because I hadn't read the Ember Blade and I was like, what if I don't like it? And then I bought the special editions and they're not cheap. But then Cassidy's came in and Rachel's came in and everybody was talking about how beautiful they were, and they really, really are absolutely gorgeous in person. And I got FOMO. So the whole purpose of this vlog is to decide if the FOMO is justified or not. Do I need these special editions? And so I'm going to read the Ember Blade, take you guys along with me through all of my thoughts, and we're going to decide whether it's special edition or bust. Should I have bought it? And if I should have, I actually think that they have not sold out of these yet, so I could still purchase it. Or is it a bust and I don't need to have FOMO because it just wasn't really the book for me? So let me just tell you really quickly what the Ember Blade is about. I believe this is an epic fantasy story following a young boy named Aaron and his best friend Cade, who are thrown into a prison mine after his dad is accused of treason. Unless they can somehow break free. Once they get out of this prison mine, they are rescued by a man who absolutely hates Aaron and has a grudge against his father, and they find out that he is out to steal something called the Ember Blade. And Aaron is being drawn into this revolution whether he likes it or not. Again, I think it's very Lord of the Rings-esque. It's a quest type story to find and steal the Ember Blade. It's very, very, very chunky. It's like a 30-hour audiobook, and it is a little over 800 pages long, so wish me luck. It could take me a little while, but let's just jump into the vlog and see if it's special edition or bust. So editing Mel really quick, just wanted to pop in here and tell you guys that if you enjoyed this video, please, please, please let me know down below, because I am considering making this a vlog series on my channel. There's at least one other book that I have access to that I know is going to be coming out with a special edition, and it's actually a horror book that I could be doing this for, a bunch of different fantasies that I could be doing this for. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoy this video and you want to see more like it, because I have several options and I'm excited to bring them to you guys if you want it. So let me know down below. Back to the vlog. So I have just gotten to work, which means I am about actually 7.5 hours, but however, 7.5 hours is only like 25% of the Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. This is a very classic fantasy following Aaron, who's always lived by the rules, and he and his best friend Caden are thrown into a prison mine when Aaron's father is convicted of treason. And then there is an Ember Blade that is the key, the sword of the kings, the Excalibur of his people. It's locked in a vault in the most heavily guarded fortress in the land. Very classic fantasy. So far, there has just been a lot of setup. Like, part of the blurb says that they are going beyond the prison walls, but we haven't even gotten there yet. It's just a lot of setup. And I do wish there was a little bit more world building that we had so far, because it's mostly following Aaron and Cade. And again, I like their relationship, but I want more from it. I want to know more about this horrible prison, because they tell you it's horrible, but then like, I don't feel it, especially after reading the Eska books that is completely set in a prison. And then I wanted to really feel their friendship. So you do get some flashbacks about how they became friends, when they became friends, and I'm really enjoying that. I think that's adding a lot of nuance to the story. There's another girl in here, and I forget her name now, that is giving us a little bit more world building. There has been some vision talk and some touched by the gods talk. It's very classic fantasy. Not sure how I feel about it yet. Overall, I'm enjoying it. It's just very, very slow, and I'm hoping that they get out of this prison and it starts to pick up soon. So normally I wouldn't update you guys quite so often, but I figured since this was a one book vlog, we could talk about it in a little bit more depth than we usually would. I'm looking to see how far I am in the Ember Blade, but I am currently on chapter 34, which is, oh wow, not as far in as I thought. This book is a chunker. It's like 800 and some odd pages long, 824, and I am roughly 250 pages into it so far. I'm not disliking this book, but I'll be honest, part of me wants to DNF it at this point. It's not bad. It's fine. It's just fine. And at this point, it's sitting at a 3-star. And so I'm just like, do I continue? I'm a completionist and I've already listened to a quarter of this book. So yes, I will continue, but I'm wanting more from it. We did have more of an action scene recently, which picked up the pace a little bit, but I think I am going to struggle with the characters in this and the fact that the world building is not as strong as I would like for it to be, considering the types of characters that we're getting. We have Aaron, and Aaron is very much so a I'm gonna save you kind of guy. He wants to save the world and look out for his friend and always be the hero, that kind of archetype. But there's not much else to him other than his archetype, and that's something that I'm finding a lot with several of the characters in here, is they are very much so fitting a mold, and there's not much more nuance to them than that. And I want more. Caden is very much so the poor pitiful me type that's always leaning on his friend, but I'm assuming is going to have all of this development and grow and become a stronger individual. That's my assumption. That's typically the path that these characters follow. So that's kind of where we're at here. We've had some visions. Don't necessarily love visions. We're looking for a magical sword. Very classic fantasy. I need some more world building here. We've met a new band of people, and I'm not sure what their purpose is or why they are willing to help these guys, considering they've never met them before. Grub is cool. I like Grub. He is got some good one-liners, so he's funny. I like him. But overall, just okay. And I was expecting not to love it, but it does get some really, really, really good reviews. So I was expecting it to be technically strong, but I'm finding even that part lacking. So anyway, we'll see. I'm not gonna DNF it. Hopefully this will go in my books that I was going to DNF, but I'm so glad that I didn't. Video that I'm gonna do at some point, we'll see. But I'm hopeful and cautiously optimistic. We'll see. Anyway, I'll update you guys later when I've read some more of that. I was listening on my way home from work, and I'm in a different car because somebody backed into my car in the parking garage of my work building. Thankfully, they were so very nice, and they gave all of their information and owned up to it so that I didn't have to pay for the repairs. But that means my car is in the shop for I don't know how long. And I know I sound like such a wuss, but like I'm used to my car, and I have to pay so much more attention to the actual act of driving in this new car than I do in mine, which I don't think is distracting me from this all that much. But full disclosure, it could be just a little bit because I'm having to pay so much more attention than I normally would. But anyway, I'll get it back soon, probably before I finish this book, considering how long it is. I'm gonna check in with you guys, like I said, a little more frequently than I normally would whenever I just have something to say. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully this kind of casual, just multi-check-in thing works. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. I don't have to do it again. I'm gonna go sprint and I'll check in with you guys later. Hey everybody, so it is time to wrap up my thoughts on the Ember Blade. Yes, I have finished it. I know I was gonna check in with you guys a little bit sooner, but I ended up just kind of listening to it and finishing everything off and didn't really have a lot more thoughts on it. And so I was like, we'll just wrap it up at the end. So, final thoughts on this one is that it is a very much so a character-driven story. I personally did not connect with these characters, especially not super early on, and so that did cause me a little bit of problems, I think, with the pacing of the story and how slow and drawn out it was. This is over 800 pages, and honestly, I don't really feel like it needed to be. There was so much in here that was just a bunch of walking and talking that I personally didn't think was necessary, and I think that it would have actually worked a lot better if it had been more like 650 pages than 850 pages. But a lot of that time was spent on characters and kind of slowly introducing you to their backstory. So I guess if you're a character-driven reader, then that part might not bother you, but we did have some action scenes kind of sprinkled throughout. They were just too few and far between for me personally. I do think that, again, the plot is pretty slow in this. It is very Tolkien, Lord of the Rings-esque, where we are slowly gathering together all of these different people that are going to set off on this quest, and the quest in this case is to steal the Ember Blade. And there is even a lot of like those mountain moments where they meet a creature and have to defeat it, and then we do nothing but walk and talk again for another 300 pages. So it did meander a little bit, and the pacing was not great for me personally. I do think that the pacing picked up a lot more at the end. I started to see all of these threads coming together and liked the ending, but this is a very self-contained story. So even though we are setting off to steal this Ember Blade that is going to set off this revolution, that's not really what this particular book is focused on. This first one is a lot more about just getting the blade and setting up all of these characters and backstories and world. And even in that, I felt like the world could have been a lot better explained. I wanted the scope to be bigger. I wanted to know about the rebellion and a little bit more about the history of the world and why they're on two different factions and why these two cultures hate each other. And it is explained, we do talk about that, but I just wanted more of it. I was hoping that the magic system would be a lot more explained. We have a druid in here and she does have magic, but it is very few and far moments between. And I just wanted more of the culture, more of the revolution. I personally was hoping that the scope would be bigger than just this band of individuals setting off on a quest. If you like character-driven stories, you like quest stories, and you don't mind a slower pace and you want some like cool magic moments in between, then this could be a book that really works for you. But for me, the pacing was just too slow. And I do think that I did enjoy it. It was well written. It wasn't just like a slog to get through, but it wasn't the best book for me personally. So in the end, I think I'm going to end up giving this a 3-star. Exactly pretty much what I expected after I started it, and honestly kind of what my predictions were going in. So that is why I had not originally just bought the special editions when they first came out. So because I was like, this is the type of book that I have the potential not to like. A slow, character-driven, classic fantasy. Not always something that I tend to gravitate toward. I do like that bigger scope. I do like seeing the revolution through the minds of different political leaders and factions and people maneuvering around. I like to see the magic. I like to see the battles and the war, and that's not what this story is, and that's okay. So, do I regret not getting the special edition? No. Will I be getting the special editions now that I have read it? Is it special edition or bust? I think it's going to be a bust. I don't think that I'm going to get the special editions. I do think I will continue in the series. The ending of this book did make me want to pick up the Shadow Casket because it did seem to start hinting at a much wider scope with the way that it ended. I think the revolution is going to become a much bigger part of the story, and we are going to open that up a lot more into the politics and the cultural divide against these two warring realms. So I definitely think that I will continue. Will it be next week? No. But once the audiobook is out, the paperback is out, I probably will continue with the Shadow Casket, but I don't feel like I need a beautiful hardcover special edition. The special editions covers are thankfully the same. I do love these covers, but I just don't personally feel like I need a super, super special edition sitting on my shelves. So for me personally, it was a bust as far as the special edition goes, but not a bust as far as the book goes. 3 stars. Definitely worth reading. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Did you enjoy this one book vlog that goes a little bit more in depth and talks more about the book? Do you prefer when I have more books in a vlog? Let me know. As well as let me know what your thoughts were on the Ember Blade, if you've read it yet, or if this made you want to pick it up. Because what I'm hoping is that when I can go into a little bit more depth and tell you why I did or didn't like the book, that you guys that maybe don't have the exact same taste to me can actually find something that you will absolutely love. And if you're somebody that does read pretty similar to me, maybe this will help with your expectations, even if you decide to read the book. So I'm definitely very, very glad that I did it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you just want to let me know know that you were here. I guess leave me a blade because of the Ember Blade. So leave me a blade emoji down in the comments below. As always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are all in the description box down below. Please give this a big thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.